Rebel 9, Rebel 9, Rebel 9, Rebel 9.
What's going on out there? It's your boy Rebel 9, man. Check it out. This video is for the new gun owners, the beginner shooters that want to get familiar with the different types of handguns that you might find out there. So here we have 5 different types of handguns, and pretty much these are basically the types that you would see out there. They might have some variants, some slight other ones out there that's a little bit different, but for the most part, they are pretty much just the same as these. And what I mean by these are the basic types, I'm going to just tell you, you got the revolver, you got a semi-automatic handgun with no safety, no manual safety. You have a semi-automatic with a manual safety. You have the 1911, and you have a hammer-fired polymer pistol. Now, before I really get into it's really about just these two, really, these types, the revolver and the semi-automatic. Okay, but I'm gonna have these 3 here real quick and just bring them up lightly for the new shooters. Okay, so we have a revolver. Pretty different from the way a semi-automatic pistol looks. Very different designs. Very different. Okay, we have two of the same gun maker, Taurus. We have a Taurus semi-automatic right here. We have a Taurus revolver, model 856. We have a Taurus model G3. Okay, so look, revolvers are much more simple for the most part, and lots of times they're proven to be more reliable. But the downside to revolvers is, you know, the magazine capacity is much lower than you would get out of a semi-automatic. A revolver this small holds 6. This holds 6. Some hold 5. The bigger revolvers, some of them can hold 8. Some of them can hold, but most of the time they hold. Some can hold 7. I believe I've seen some 7 shots. I believe most of the time they have like 8 or 6. You know, so then you got the 1911. I'm gonna get into the function of these of the main 2 in a second, but I just want to touch on some variances of some other pistols you might find out there. All right, first let's semi-autos. You have some that come without the manual safety. A lot of you new shooters might be comfortable with a manual safety. At home, you might want to have the safety up because you got kids. You're afraid your children might find your weapon, but your children should never find your weapon. You should always keep it in a safe and secure quality safe to prevent those things from happening. But in the event it does happen, I guess some people feel more comfortable when their gun has a safety on it. Okay, and the safety deactivates the trigger and all this stuff like that. Most people don't recommend, a lot of shooters, they don't like safeties on their home defense guns and their carry guns, and I'm one of them. I don't carry guns with safeties, and I don't have a home defense gun with a safety. I don't know. I'm just funny. Like, I just don't like them. I don't know why. This gun now, the G3X, I believe, has the option, but they should always come. A lot of guns are starting to come with the options for the safety, and a lot of guns still not understanding. Taurus is probably one of them. This G3 should have already been out without a safety, man. Not G3X, the regular G3, and so should the G2 series and G3C. But I don't know. I'm not sure why they didn't get on that yet, but that's just the thing with me. Okay, because if you got a safety on in your home defense gun, what if you get to the gun and you panic and somebody doing something, breaking into your house, and you panic, you think the gun is up, you think the safety is off, you go shoot this dude and your gun is deactivated. No, I'm not cool with it. So that's the reason why I brought this out, to show you the differences. You know, safety, a manual safety, meaning you have to manually disengage it and engage it, versus guns with no safety. Nothing there. You just rack it, point, and shoot what you're willing to destroy. That's really it. And then you have hammer-fired pistols, polymers. These are both polymers. Okay, one has a hammer right here, as you can see. This is called a hammer. This is smooth. This is a striker fired. You can't see the actual firing pin in there in the channel here. And this is a hammer that hits the pin. A lot of people love hammer fired guns, saying that they're more, kind of more reliable strikes. I can agree with that. I can agree. It's more solid. I think more goes into building hammer fired weapons too. So it's much more solid. I tend to agree with that. Right. And this one, again, with Taurus, has the safety. No optionals to remove the safety at all. No options. I'm not sure what's going on with them. All right, but I just brought this out here to show you the difference between the firing, the mechanisms there. You got hammer fired. You can see the profile. There's a hammer. See that? Halfway disengaged. Okay. And then you have a striker fired, where you can't see any hammer. You can't see any firing pin in the channel. It's closed. It's enclosed in the rear of the gun. One thing is the pros to having a hammer fired, I guess. You get to stage your you get to stage. If you feel uncomfortable carrying, like if you look, well, I don't want to carry one. I want to carry one in the chamber, but I want to keep my safety on. Most of the time, in some guns, you don't got to do that. You just rack it back, and then you can drop the hammer on some guns if safely able to do so. Not all, okay. Some have hammer drop safeties and stuff like that. So it's you gotta, it's kind of like regarding, you just got to look in the gun manual and make sure that that type of gun is made for that. Okay. So you don't get no dirt gets in the channels like in a hammer fired. Dirt can get in here. You have to keep them more clean versus a striker fire. That's one pro I would say about the striker fires as well. Okay, so we also have another gun here. 1911. This is an old design, very old. Goes long way back before any of these guns were even thought about. Any these type of guns was around. The 1911 was around. Right, very sensitive. Some of them are sensitive to ammunition. This one here is a T-size tanker. Okay. All metal. 1911s are mostly all metal. Most of them single shot, 8-round magazines, 7-round magazines. You have some bigger double stack 1911s. Those aren't really traditional, but they have them. They have them out there. Then you also have 1911s that are built on different calibers, 9mm, 38 Super. You have all different types. Okay, so this is a 45 ACP, what the 1911 was made for, baby. Okay, and it has a grip safety here. It won't fire. The trigger won't fire unless you get a full grip on the gun and you depress the safety with your web of your grip. You got a good purchase on the gun, and then you can squeeze the trigger. Okay. Lots of times you can stage your hammer with 1911s and stuff. Some people carry them half cocked. Depends on the gun though. Okay, depends on the gun. As you can see the hammer won't move unless I gotta do all that at the same time. See, 1911s are sometimes a pain in the ass to take apart. You gotta take it apart from the barrel bushing and stuff like that. Recoil spring, guide rod, and all that. You got to take it apart from up there, and some people, new shooters, might find it difficult to put back together. So these aren't really recommended for new shooters like 1911s. I would say wait on these until you get more familiar with other handguns. But they're cool to have in the collection though. They can get the job done as well, but this isn't really realistic for a new shooter at the moment. Okay. Now, real quick, let's just talk about the parts for each of these guns. All right, so you have a semi-automatic pistol. You have your safety, which may or may not be on the gun. Manual safety. This is your finger rest. Some guns have it, some don't, which makes your thumb, it's like your thumb rest here, more comfortable for you to hold the firearm. This is your magazine release right here. It releases the magazine that holds your ammunition. This one holds 15. You fill that up to the top, 15 rounds, put it back in, and then pull it back the chamber around. That's how that works. On this gun, these are the takedown levers. This is how you disassemble your firearm with these two levers here. Some guns have pins you pull out. Some guns have levers. This one has two notches that you push down to take the slide off the gun. This is your trigger. This thing here is your trigger guard. This helps prevent you from accidentally firing a gun or it dropping and something hitting the trigger and it going off. That's what that's for. These little indents here, these are finger rest on this gun. On most guns, it's for ambidextrous, for people that's right-handed like me. My finger will go here. Very comfortable rest. It helps you gain motor memory on keeping your finger off the trigger. That's why they put them there for the most part. This would be for lefties. If you was a left-handed shooter, your finger will go right there. Also, you have a rail here for your accessories. Most pistols have this, some don't. You can put your flashlights under here, your lasers, your optics, stuff like that. These are really serrations. They look nice, but they serve a purpose. They help you grip the slide, give you an easier way to pull the slide back to chamber your round. Okay, you can also do it from the front on this gun. Not all guns have them at the front, such as this Glock. They don't have any serrations at the front, just at the back. But this Taurus, pretty neat, has them at the front. All right. Also, you have your sights. You have your rear sight. This one is just all black combat. Lots of guns have 2 white dot sights in the back. This one doesn't. You have your front white sight. A lot of guns might have optics at front. The sight might be red or green or something like that. But for the most part, on lower end pistols or something, you'll find white dot standard. This right here on this gun would be the slide stop. And the function for that is when the gun is firing and when it's done with the ammo, it will lock open like this. And if the magazine was in, it would help it. But since the mag is out, I manually pushed up the slide stop. That holds the slide open like this for many reasons. You might want to check the chamber, make sure it's clear, take down, maintenance, whatever it is, okay? Some guns, you can use this to close the slide. On a lot of guns, it's not recommended to do that because you can wear this out. Glocks, like this Glock here, people think this is a slide release, and it's not. It's just a slide catch. You're not supposed to slide. It's small enough to even, common sense. He made it small so you won't even get an idea. But people use it, and you can wear this out. Even on a Glock. So don't do that. Don't do it on this one either. Car pistols are designed for, if you see bigger ones on guns, it might be okay. Like the Smith & Wesson right here. This one, it has a real bigger one, so it probably can handle it. But I don't really use these things like that. I just wing it closed. But if it's you're in a self-defense situation, it wouldn't matter. If it's faster for you to close that motherfucker like this, close it. If it's more comfortable, do it. But I'm just saying, you got the range and stuff like that, don't do it. Just, do it the way it's supposed to be meant to be done. Okay? Now this whole piece of metal, the whole stainless thing is called the slide. This holds much of the function of much of the internals and stuff like that. The barrel. Okay, this is the barrel. This is what the bullet comes out of. This is the barrel. That's the feed ramp. The bullet goes up this little ramp right here into the barrel. You chamber around. The very front of your barrel is called the muzzle. Okay, this is where the bullet comes out of. This is the muzzle. This is a guy rod. The recoil spring is attached to it. This is a captive guy rod, by the way, meaning the guy rod and the recoil rod, the guide rod, which is this, and the recoil spring is encased together. Not all guns is like that. Some guns you can just pull the spring right off of the recoil, off of the guide rod. This one is not that way. This whole area is called your frame. Holds the trigger housing, everything. This hole is the magazine well. That's what they call it, where the magazine is inserted into the gun. This is called a magazine, not a clip. Please don't say clip. It's a magazine. So, and also these are grip stipplings. Not all guns have it. Helps give you a better grip, and it helps protect you from sweat and sliding off your fingers sliding off the gun if you get sweaty. I love Taurus stippling. I love it. I love the way they made that. It's aggressive enough where it'll get the job done from sweat, but not overly aggressive where it'll cut into your fingers and stuff like that and bother your hands. It won't do it. All right. So, and this gun also has a loaded chamber indicator. That's just to show you there's a bullet loaded into the chamber. Not all guns have that. Most of these new modern type guns are coming out with these little witness holes at the top. The Glock doesn't have it. A lot of guns don't have it. This gun doesn't have it. This gun has one, see? It has a bigger chamber witness hole right there. Right. So that concludes pretty much the parts of a semi-automatic handgun. So you got your revolver. It's a little bit different, as you can see. Not all revolvers have outside like hammers where you can do this. Some revolvers have shrouded hammers where they're bobbed into the frame. You don't see it. It just lays flat. All right. Obviously, this is the grip of the revolver right here. This is the trigger. Trigger guard again, just like on a semi-automatic. This is what you would call the mag release on the handgun. This is the cylinder release on the revolver, so you can load the chamber. One other thing I wanted to share with you guys on semi-autos, this thing right here, this is like the ejector. It helps to pull the rounds out. Right here is an ejector. This thing here helps to rip the rounds out of the gun when it's firing. Okay, this little black claw right here. I don't know if you can see it. This right there, this little black claw. And the same thing would be almost equivalent on a revolver. This is the ejector star. It's how you empty the rounds, because in a revolver, the spent casings don't come out. They stay in the gun. So in order for you to take those rounds out, you just push on your cylinder release and you push down on this, and it drops your spent rounds out, and you pop some new ones in. They have ammo holders. You can just speed loaders. You drop them in and twist it, and you're ready to go with your next 5 or 6 rounds again. Another thing for you revolver owners, if you decide to get a revolver for the first time, you're going to see a lot of channels, right? And even in the movies, where you're going to see people do this with their revolver. I'm not going to do it with mine, but you're going to see this. They're going to cowboy it closed, doing this, like it makes it look cool. What they do, they flick the barrel, the cylinder closed in a quick fashion. Don't do that. Messes the timing up of your revolvers, because what happens is this notch here start to wear out really fast. You don't want that. That's what locks in your cylinder. This notch will start to lock in. Don't do it. It's soft, treat it with respect, and she'll treat you good. Okay? Also, lots of revolvers don't have real sights like semi-automatics might have. You see here. See it? The semi has sights. The revolver has kind of like sights, but it's like carved into the frame. It's very minimal, but you can line something up back there. They have a sight channel though. There's a sight channel. This is really like a sight channel, and you can see down into the front post. And a lot of revolvers, higher end ones, will have like a red or orange post. A lot of the inexpensive revolvers, it'll just be nothing there. It'll just be black. Okay, so you got to do the best you can, or you can take some nail polish and kind of like paint it yourself. Another thing, this is the barrel of the revolver right here. This is the barrel, just like on a semi-auto. The barrel is pressed into the frame. This is, I believe, a 2-inch barrel. Oh, I think this is might be about a 2-inch, 1.5, 2-inch barrel. Yeah, something like that. Okay, and as in the semi, this is the muzzle. This is the muzzle. Okay, very simple. So not many parts to a revolver as it is with a semi-automatic handgun. Okay, so it's just a quick rundown, nothing crazy. I hope you guys understood and enjoyed this video. Please subscribe and come back for more of Rebel 9, baby. I'm just getting started. I will catch y'all later. Peace.